Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Imran Saeed, and today we will study the topic of ergonomics in human computer interaction. Normally, when we define ergonomics, most of the time we listen that or we hear that study of the physical characteristics of interaction, and it is also known as human factors. So, normally we say that in fact we will have to learn about the abilities of humans, their limitations. So, with the help of that study, we can help to make the new gadgets, the new machines, the new controls. But the ergonomics is not limited to only designing the controls, just designing the interfaces, but it has a lot more in it. And normally we can say that it helps in designing and arranging the whole workplaces where the height of the table, the height of the chair, the placement of the monitors, keyboards, mouse, everything is kept in mind. And not only these things, but also the air conditioning, the light arrangements, and everything is considered so that a user can interact easily with the system. It is not limited to the computers. In fact, ergonomics in everywhere, wherever we are working. So it can be used in a car, the position in which I am driving, then the position of the steering, then the position of the buttons or controls in the car in the panel, then the position of the gears in the older cars. So it is not limited to computer, but ergonomics is a field that talks about the arrangement of workplaces, designing of the controls, and in our case it also deals with the arrangement of the controls on the interfaces. That means when a user interacts with an application, the controls, the buttons, the menus, the options, everything must be at an appropriate place so that user must not feel it difficult to use your application. So let me read it out for you. The ergonomics helps in designing and arranging the workplaces, products and systems so that they fit the people who use them. So again, it gives the ease to the user. And then ergonomics is a branch of science that aims to learn about human abilities and limitations and then apply this learning to improve people's interaction with products, systems, and environments. As I told you, we design accordingly. A human cannot see that far. So we will provide him maybe some binocular, maybe some telescope or something, so that the environment in which he or she is working, it will be easier for him to look at the things that are far away. Similarly, if we are sitting in a lab and there are different people with different height, so we use the hydraulic chairs so that a person who has more height may bring the chair down, or a person who has the short height, he or she may raise the chair and come to a level of the table. So now check something about the ergonomics. Here you can see the left hand side and right hand side. In fact, this blue right hand side is telling us something that is not correct, and it is mostly related to the postures, the way we do different things, right? Our body position. So now you may check, in this case this person is not sitting properly, but here he is sitting properly. So now the strain he will bear, or his body is bearing, in fact here it is more and here it is better. And then when we pick something, then in that case this posture is wrong and this one is right. Again, if I am reading some book and my head and my neck is tilted, then in that case I will get more stress. This is the best way or the posture in which I can read. Similarly, if a person drives a car in this manner, that he hasn't got the straight back, so it will not be good. But in this case you can see that if he or she is sitting properly, then it will be easier, better, and comfortable for the driver. Similarly, when we sleep, this posture is wrong, right? And this one is better, because in this case we get the relaxed muscles and it gives us more ease, and we don't come across with different strains, different pains. So this is one way we look at the ergonomics. Now let's talk about the controls. This is the image of a cockpit of a plane. Here you can see so many meters, so many gadgets, so many handles and everything. And you may see that in fact these all has been designed in such a manner that the pilot sitting on this seat can access all the controls that he needs to use, and a co-pilot has all the controls that he or she needs to use. So in fact these are arranged in such a manner that the pilot can easily access every of the control that he or she needs to use. Then I'll give you example of an older cockpit of a plane. So now check here, we have so many again meters and the buttons and knobs and everything. So it was little bit complex, right? But now as the planes are getting sophisticated, so the arrangement of control is also part of the ergonomics that helps us to have the easy access to the controls. Now if I talk about the computers, software engineering, software development, you may see over here the arrangement of control. I have taken these interfaces from internet, so I can tell you this was somewhere age. You will have to type the age and then look at the gender. In fact here it has used the check boxes, and checkbox has a characteristic that both or more than one check boxes can be checked at the same time. But in this case, in fact, we will have to consider that one can be either a female or male, or in the third case can be others, right? So in fact this is the wrong use of control. That means here we should use the radio button. You all know that the property of radio buttons is one set of radio button can be in a one set of radio buttons we can select only one option at one time. So here it is the misuse of controls. Again over here, delete all records. Normally we all have a common understanding that the red color is dangerous and green is to go, right? So now here you check delete all records, and I am getting yes in green. Normally for the other actions, yes is to proceed, so we keep it green. The first thing here is, in fact this thing gives me an indication that I must click yes. But if the concept is delete all record, are you sure you want to delete all records from the database? Then it must be yes in red and no in green, so that a user before clicking the red button must think that if I will click yes, it will just remove all the data. And second thing, normally we do not use these colors over here. We just put something here red so that it must be alarming and user must not click the button without understanding the message. So normally we do that. But even if you are using the color scheme, then this yes must be red, so that the user must look over it. Yes, should I press yes because it is red, it is dangerous, and really it is dangerous because if he clicks yes, all the records will be deleted. Now look at into another way. Here I have an interface or two interfaces. Here we can see that the wrong use of color. In fact they have used something gray with blue, so you are unable to see it, or the user is unable to see that, right? Here we have option on this gray, we cannot see those. Here we have options on the or icons on the gray, we cannot see these. Here we have something profile picture, whatever. So in fact this is the wrong use. So ergonomics says always use the contrast colors so that user may not get confused, he or she may not be in trouble while reading on the interface. So you may check this is the good one because it has got the contrast colors, dark background with the light foreground, then the light foreground with the dark font colors, and similarly in the other controls. So that is how we look at the ergonomics. So from the body position, sitting position, to the controls in a machine, to the software, even in any machine you will find that a washing machine with the knob that is the very smart and round dial. So you will not be able to move that dial if your hands have soap on them. So you need some knob that has the grip, right? So very much refined or very much fine smooth dial will not help there. There we need something that must have a grip so that we may use the knob. Similarly in the microwave ovens, if we use the glass options, the glass buttons, then again maybe our hands are oily or something, so sometime it does not get that touch, right? So in this way, in ergonomics we think about everything how it is helpful. Now we come to the computer science and HCI relevant things. So we consider in ergonomics arrangement of controls and displays. For example, if I ask you, look at the Word. In MS Word, all the options have been grouped. Now you will ask, how, sir? So now check all the options related to the file: new, open, save as, close, print, print preview. Every option has been grouped under one heading of the menu, that is file. Then cut, copy, paste, paste special, all these options that are related to the editing have been brought into only one option, that is edit. So in fact, in order to make an application more understandable, easily understandable, in fact the arrangement of control is very much important, and this helps the user to use it. Similarly, we also use or group the these controls on the basis of function or frequency of use or sequential manner. So first of all, I will open a document, then I will draw something, then I will put some paint in it. So we can make or arrange the controls with the help of the sequence in which we will work. This is the first thing about the controls in our machines, in our applications, in our software. Everywhere we will have to look at these controls, how to organize them. Then again, second thing is surrounding environment. As I told you, it is not only about the colors and these things, it is about the whole environment, even how you sit, how you cope with the different sizes of users. I told you we use the hydraulic chairs now, so that we can raise or bring the chair down as per our height, right? So that our body must be in a position that we may easily use the computer, laptop or other gadget. So this is the environment, and it also contains so many other things like health issues. In environment, we will have to think about the physical position, environmental conditions. What are those? Temperature. In a very high temperature, you will not feel comfortable, or very low temperature, again you will be in trouble. So normally at a workplace, they try to keep the temperature to a moderate level so that everybody feels comfortable and they can perform their tasks, their jobs easily. Then humidity. Normally humidity plays a bad role in case if the weather is more humid. So many people feel discomfort working in that environment. So normally we dry the environment, we use the air conditioner or something to make that environment humidity free. Then again, lighting. If you place some lighting somewhere and it is not proper, it is not being focused on the thing on which you are working, rather it has been focused in your eyes, so in that case you will not be comfortable. So lighting matters a lot. Noise, if there is noise, you will not be able to concentrate on your work. So you will find at the time in which time you have better energy level, which time is good for which kind of work. So this is something very much important. And now you can see that these are very few factors that have been discussed over here. There are a lot more things, right? So ergonomics looks at everything so that to make a machine comfortable for the user, a whole environment comfortable for the user, so that the user must be more productive with the help of the ergonomics. Now another thing that is part of the ergonomics, and normally people say, or people talk about only about the colors. No, ergonomics is about everything that we have discussed, and use of color is only one factor. So now check. In fact, we try to use the colors in contrast. For example, if I am placing some buttons, I will make maybe the background lighter and the color of the buttons can be, and the options or the labels can be light, or the lighter background and then the color of the buttons, labels and other controls be dark. So this is something. Then again, use of red for warning. We are aware of our every signal. If it is red, we will have to stop, danger, and then green for okay. And now we must be thinking about the people who have some issue of blindness or color blindness, right? So people who cannot differentiate between colors, they will feel difficulty if you use those colors or combination of those colors that are problematic for that particular person. So as we have already studied that almost 8% male and 1% female are colorblind. So it means out of every 100 users, male users, we can have 8 users who will feel difficulty in differentiating the colors. So that means we should keep an eye or track the colors, that which colors must not be used, so that all the users feel comfort in reading the text, labels or looking at the controls. So now we can say that if we let me tell you, ergonomics is a huge field. I again say that, from the workstation, from the workplace, from a car, from an aeroplane, to the tanks, to the missiles, and everything there is ergonomics, so that we make the use of that particular thing, that particular machine, that particular computer, anything, we feel comfort, then it is a better working environment. So ergonomics tells us how to make the things better, how to make the environment better. So now we can say that ergonomics is good at defining standards and guidelines for constraining the way we design certain aspects of system. That means when we are designing a system, when we are designing a software, in fact, ergonomics tells us what not to do, what kind of color we must not use, what kind of control we must not use, what kind of let me give you an example. It is always difficult when we have two kind of or both kind of scroll bars, the vertical and the horizontal. You are moving from left to right or right to left, then you are moving down, then again you are moving from right to left or left to right, then from top to bottom. So in fact, the combination of these two scroll bars is difficult to manage. So only in the cases where you feel like you are using the maps that have all the directions, there you may use the both scroll bars. But wherever you are giving some text, pictures or other information, you must only use the vertical scroll bar. So ergonomics tells us that in fact, moving the hand from top to down, then left to right, then top to down, then left to right, in fact teases the user. In fact, it gives him something that he does not like. So we must use the controls accordingly. So ergonomics is very good to teach us how to design a system, how to design a machine, how to design anything else that a user has to use so that he may be able to use that easily. So this is the basic information about the ergonomics. I hope you will understand that. Please study it from the book and you can ask me the questions about it. Thank you very much. Fi amanillah.